Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. My name's Anthony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, another bozo on the bus, and I care about you.
And I'm LouiLou. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm recovered for crystal meth and alcohol, and I'm always in search of balance.
And I'm Jordan, an addict, trying to make the right choices, and always the third wheel to this relationship.
And has the longest introduction.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. And each week we strive to foster a brave space where we can engage in conversations centered around topics of recovery.
And our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for more people in recovery by tackling issues sometimes used to separate us.
But before we do that, please like, share, and comment on this episode, and subscribe.
Subscribe, comment, give us 5 stars, say good things, and only good things. And now
Try
that
saying good things to me.
I know, Jordan, I know. It was too early. You were taking a risk. You were taking a chance. And then I came in and I took a big dump on it.
Yeah, you can dump the disclaimer now.
Oh, no. Jordan, do you need a hug?
No.
And don't touch me. And other disclaimers, the thoughts and opinions expressed on At the CCC are ours alone. We do not represent anyone but ourselves. In other words, we're just a couple of friends behind a mic here to entertain you. And of course, everything we talk about is for general information purposes only. Jordan, do we have a rupture and repair?
No.
Do we have to repair?
No.
Okay.
No rupture, no repair.
Okay, well, you had time to work on your intro.
And you had time to be okay with it.
I know, Jordan. I know.
okay.
I know.
No, he's trying stuff. He's, I think it's
No, I know.
good. Yeah, right on.
I have been doing this for so many years that I don't have a memorized tagline yet.
Jordan. Well, that's something to work on this year.
So how's it going? How's it going, Anthony?
How's everyone doing? I'm good. I'm really good.
For those of you listening, it's like we haven't been together like this in a while.
It has been quite some time.
Yeah, exactly. Because Anthony was traveling.
I was in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the last time we were all really together.
I was in Portland, then I got sick. Jordan got sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on.
You know.
Yeah, but I've been consistent.
And that's what matters.
And that's what matters. Yeah, this is it's a me program after all. It's a Lewis program.
Okay.
Jordan, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's a busy work season. Oddly enough, I work in hospice for those that don't know.
Yeah.
And it's always the transitions of seasons is like a busy time.
Oh.
What does that mean in terms of hospice?
So like when it's a transition from like summer to winter, it's like so autumns and springs is when a lot of people
Pass
go on
away
hospice.
or come to hospice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I thought you were saying a lot of people like leave us.
Well, that too. Well,
Okay.
they're always leaving.
You know, that's interesting because there was like some study that showed that a lot of relationships end at transitions periods. So like either during a holiday or during like the turning of one season to the next. Mm-hmm. It's in this interesting book. I think it's called Dataclysm by Rudder. It's like the people who founded OkCupid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On a happy note, on this day of our Lord. So I'm really excited. Did we already hear from you, Lewis?
Oh, I started. I started because I was trying to get you guys.
Okay.
I was trying to get them to stop because they were out. You need to work on this. No, anyway.
I know. I
need a hug?
know. Yeah. I do it for the giggles. So today's
Someone's giggling. Yeah.
I know I'm getting there. That's how I was getting. So I want everyone to know that we have a guest sitting at the table. I was getting ready to introduce our guest. Lewis taps me on my arm. Like, don't forget to introduce her. Like, this is my first time.
Well, it felt like it. I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I wanted to introduce our guest today. So today's topic is the dance of leadership and service and recovery. And so Lo is someone that I've met through doing service. She's been super involved in Western Roundup Living Sober, which for our listeners, if you don't know, Western Roundup Living Sober is the longest running LGBT plus recovery conference in the country and possibly the world. And that's where I met Lo, and Lo from the very beginning was like super involved. You were on one committee, then you became the co-chair of the committee, and not too long ago you became chair of the conference, which is really exciting. So we invited Lo on because we thought she would be like a great addition to our conversation today. So that is my intro of Lo, Lewis. Lo, how are you? Introduce yourself. How are you
Holy
doing?
shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can follow any of that up with anything that feels reasonable in any context. Like I'm kind of walking into the lion's den right now.
A little bit.
But yeah, I'm
Rawr.
happy to be here. Rawr. Damn. No, but I'm super stoked to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear like your thoughts on today's topic. Yeah. So yeah, when we think about recovery, so especially in like 12-step context, being of service is like one of the pillars of the work that we do together. And one of the things that we talk about is that there are no really leaders in recovery, but we have like trusted servants. I think it gets a little tricky, and I'm curious about how you feel about this, Lo, that when we're talking about things like conferences or like offshoots of things that are recovery related, it's sometimes hard for me, at least, to not feel like I have to step into a role where I'm actually leading people as opposed to being of service. So yeah, I'm wondering you're agreeing. I'm wondering what's coming up for you.
Oh my God. I mean, because I think that so much of my learning in this context has been so humbling, because it's just like leadership isn't at all what I originally thought it was. Like it's so much about learning to just trust the group conscience and like maybe like the most is like holding people accountable and like following up on maybe, you know, like conversations that have been had, but like really like nothing's up to me.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't matter. Like I don't even have a vote, you know? And so, you know, I think a big thing that I've learned over the years is just like, I remember when I was like doing fundraising and I was like, okay, I can be the fundraising co-chair. And it just felt like every single event, like I was just trying to take responsibility for the whole thing, you know? And it was like just being of service in that way for that year really taught me to loosen my grip on the way things needed to look, or being like the solely responsible person. Because like the beautiful thing about, I mean, at least within the context of living sober, is like folks are willing to show up. It might not be how I have envisioned, but like people are down, you know, for the cause. I gotta let go, man.
Yeah. We're wise words.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that you said trust the group conscience. For people who may not be familiar with what a group conscience is, could you like explain a little bit of what that looks like, especially in the conference?
Yeah. I mean, I think living sober functions, you know, with the same like traditions and structure as AA, which is like a bottom-up organization. So, you know, you have your steering committee, which is like chair, co-chair, secretary, treasurer. Each of those folks is like responsible for like liaising subcommittees, which include like fundraising, operations, outreach, et cetera. Each of those subcommittees has co-chairs, and then those subcommittees have committee members as well. And so everything gets pretty much decided on at the committee level. So it's like, it is interesting because you call it steering committee, but it's actually like not that the steering committee.
It's not steering.
It's actually everybody who's involved. You know, like at our monthly general planning meetings where all the committee members come together, and like the committees are self-governing, but for the big picture, like conference decisions, like this year we're moving the conference to the Castro, which is super exciting. But all those decisions go through the general planning committee, which is everybody, you know, and I think it says a lot about one thing. I think that I'm going to kind of go off on a tangent, but it moves slowly, which is so different than what we're used to in kind of like the environment and the culture we live in the United States, where like so much is, you know, top down, kind of like hyper individualistic, like go, 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 go. And I think within the context of living sober, it's like, it's slower, it's more group centered. Everybody's vote like matters, you know, everybody has a voice. And so it's taken a little bit of acclimating to, you know, even though it feels like maybe the more like social justice oriented way of existing. It's just amazing how much like the system we live in, it feels the opposite.
Yeah, that I love that comparison to like a social justice framework. Years ago, I was taking a class on organizational leadership, and part of what I had to do was to like look at an organization and to like determine like what were the streams of leadership and stuff. And so I decided to do Western Roundup, and I like realized within like a couple seconds, I'm like, oh, this is not the way organizations run. Like the idea that you're deferring to like a power greater than yourself, that you are deferring to like group conscience, that you are like there's a process that's going to unfold, that people can step in and out of leadership positions, that right. Like I was like, oh wow, the world really doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan, was something coming up for you?
I guess like my question in being involved in finding fellowship and being in a committee, some things just like logistically have to get done. Someone has to get the name tag. Someone has to get the pens, right? Like I struggled with, okay, someone's got to get it. Who's going to get it? You know? And like, at what point do I just like stand up and like, okay, I'm going to go get it. You know?
I feel like in the subcommittees, there's room for a little more structure. But to what you were saying, it's like when really truly like letting it be like a I don't want to say groupthink or whatever. We're trusting, turning it over, letting the committees do the work, letting people do what they feel they're strongest. I was going to ask you, getting to that place where you let it go, where you turn it over, where you're no longer kind of worried about the outcome or whatever. Doesn't it kind of change how you recruit people? Because there used to be a time where I was like, you got to start from the beginning to the end. And now my attitude is like, and you said it, it's like you ask for help and you be okay with how it shows up. And it when it shows up. And sometimes all a person can do is give you, I'll get the name tags. That's it. And I'm all, that's great.
Yes.
Because that means that it's going to get done.
Totally.
And you're going to be passionate about it.
Totally.
Go ahead.
No, it's just like people really want to be responsible for their service commitments a lot of the times.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just like sometimes I'm going to think that's a fuck ass name tag, and that's okay.
Exactly.
Like it's okay. Whatever. Okay, let it go. Truly. Like, the perfectionism is real.
Yeah. Well, what you're reminding me of is when you like you can. I used to say like, oh, we should start taking resumes for conferences. But then I was like, I like thought about that and I was like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like there's like this magic that happens when you aren't trying to filter people out, because when it comes to a conference, like the people who are going to make it run are the people who show up. And there's something really spiritual about that, right? Because there's no one saying like, nah, you can't do this. There's only been one time where one person's been asked to leave.
Say it.
No. I'll tell you off air, but it was at Western Roundup. Say their names.
If you're listening.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me think too.
Yeah.
Is there a point where someone can do too much service?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, of course.
You know what they say, service keeps you sober, but service can sometimes take you out.
Yeah.
I think that it's tied to like why am I doing it? For me, I had to always check my motives, because before it had to do with self-righteous. Like I was going, I'm going to show you, I'm this, I'm that, I want you to see. And really it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, half the time people are like, you're crazy. I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the reading when they talk about, I'm trying to control everything. And so until, when I'm at a place where I'm not willing to let go and trust, like in service work, I really practice the third step. I turn it over.
Hell yeah.
It is going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. And sometimes, like Anthony says, a lot of times, like he really likes when, something different happens and it surprises you and it's chaotic and whatever. And
I love that.
And that's been the magic of like living sober and finding fellowship and being in all this. When you step back and let somebody take the lead.
Totally.
Especially, and it's like, wow, it's like I'm finding that with living sober. The new people coming in, bringing their new ideas.
Oh my God.
New ideas, because the challenge with that and other things that you have individuals who have been involved and they love the experience and it's great, but loving the experience and wanting to recreate constantly the same thing sometimes you got like back off.
Totally.
You know, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to let somebody else come in because it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I feel like, you know, you kind of get a little microcosm of kind of what it's like in the rest of the world, right? Where folks get really stuck to tradition and because it's like the thing that keeps us safe and like all this stuff. And it's really hard to change. And especially for folks of our variety who are like really interested in control and things remaining the same and like, you know, not interested in the unknown, you know, it's just like there is like, oh my God. But like fundraising last year, you know, blew their shit out of the water. They had so many new events.
I was just going to say, fundraising was out of control.
Yeah.
They did such great work. I was making a joke the other day because there's another conference and they were like, oh, we're having trouble with fundraising. I was like, well, they need to talk to the lesbians at Western Roundup because
they showed up and
because they fucking blew it out of the water.
And they made it fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they made it so much
it was
fun.
like, it was very exciting. It was very fun. Oh, I forgot a thing and I forgot it.
I know you were
fundraising. I remember. So you're talking about change?
Yeah.
So years ago, this is when I was a newcomer, I had joined Western Roundup on a committee. And at the time, Western Roundup was going through kind of like a rough period because there were people there who would not allow for anything to change. And there were people who had been there since its inception.
With their asymmetrical bobs and their folded arms.
Name them.
Say their names. Say their names. I know who you're talking about, but that's not who I'm thinking of.
I know.
Yeah. So I remember like one of the first steering committee meetings I went to, or general planning meetings I went to, a person came out with like a binder with the bylaws and was like, actually, we can't do this. And here's what it says in the bylaws. The long and the short of it is attorneys got involved.
They brought their lawyer.
Attorneys got involved to interpret the fucking bylaws.
We are so sick.
That's so intense. First off, no one's getting paid for any of this shit. You know what I mean? We're all a bunch of addicts and alcoholics. Like, who has the time to get attorneys involved?
Oh my God.
But we went through a rough patch. There was even a year where like there was some doubt about whether or not Western Roundup was going to be able to survive. And then Eric Anderson came in. He was the chair.
Spill that tea.
I love Eric Anderson came in. Kim S. Did I say Eric's last name?
Yes, you did.
Oh my God. Maybe we'll beep that out. Boop.
Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, well, actually, that's not this person's name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's keep that moving. So, so we had Kim stepped in. What was 1 year? Then we had Eric step in after 1 year, and like things started to transform. Then we started to have like the affinity groups. We started to have like all these new meetings, and then it's turned into this like wonderful thing.
Yeah,
there's much more young people involved.
The momentum's been great. It's like Kim was. It was Kim. Like I was one of those folks. Like I was like, this thing needs to die, and it's like become what it's supposed to. I was keeping it real. It's like, or it needs to change, or whatever. And I think that's why I ended up getting involved, because it's like I had a moment, and I was like, yeah, you know what, you can complain about things, and how even like moving this to the Castro, I had some initial concerns, but I was like, I went to the meeting, and the way that I approached it is like, instead of complaining about what's not happening, what can I bring to make the things that I don't agree with work out?
Yeah.
Because this is what I was talking about, and it's scary, but you know what? It needs to happen. It needs to happen for this organization to continue being what it is.
Totally.
Amazing.
Or like even just try it and let it all fuck up so you can
absolutely.
be like,
I think that
how did that work?
Yeah.
That would be the most. That would be the most recovered thing we could do.
Yeah.
To just let it fall apart because we tried everything and we tried it together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, for everyone at the table, have you ever had, like, was there ever a moment, and if so, what did it look like to like try to step into service, or have reservations about doing it, or feeling like, did you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to do this? Just kind of like any hangups before people like stepped into actually being of service. Lo, do you?
Jordan, take it away.
Yeah.
I mean, being in early recovery, being in early recovery, I could never stay sober long enough to fulfill a meeting commitment.
Yeah.
Right. And then I would feel bad, or I would like miss every other week, or I would do this. And then finally it's like, do we need to find somebody else? It's like, yeah, probably. Like,
Yeah.
and I think I get hard on myself. Like I signed up for this, and the goal is to follow through on these commitments, right, and be part of these traditions, and then I just couldn't, right? So it's like, well, at what point do I say I give up, give it to somebody else, or do I keep trying and don't keep pissing other people off because I didn't follow through on the commitment that week?
Yeah.
So that's always been a struggle.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you had something.
I mean, like there's, I feel like a lot of layers to this thing, because it's like, there's like fun service commitments.
Yep.
Like I love being the secretary of a meeting. I love that shit. That shit is so much fun. It's like
being the secretary of the big Sunday meeting. Oh,
especially if you only have to show up every other week. So you only need to, it's just like, it's like the perfect commitment. It's so much fun. You're like visible. People know you, la la la. And then there's like the shitty service commitments that are the ones that actually keep you sober.
Key holder.
Like
for the Friday night meeting.
Jesus.
a cigarette butt picker up or like whatever, but it's just like, damn. And I think that there was something in that shifted for me when I took the fundraising co-chair position, because I was like, damn, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Fundraising's the hardest service commitment.
God.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
God, it was, I kind of hated it. But the truth is that like the community that I built by the end of that year, and the connections that I made with folks from just like going through the shit and being out till like 3 a.m. packing back the storage unit, and just like nobody wants to be there, but all of a sudden everyone's like singing along like to each other in camaraderie. It's like you build like you're like literally chosen family, like not to be cliche, but it's so true. And it's like there's so much more I've found in terms of like the deeper roots in recovery by doing the commitments that challenge me and like make me feel a little bit scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lo. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, and I don't know if I'm answering this correct, where I'm at now with the amount of time that I have and actually being of service the way I have, I check the temperature. Like there are some situations there, I need to know if I'm going to be able to work well with the individuals that I'm going to be working with. And usually that will kind of like, I need to step back. That's been a lovely gift. Because before I would stay in and fight. I had to fight all my life. all my life I had to fight. Honestly, it's like I've served on like finding fellowship specifically, and I don't have to say the names, but I served under 2 chairs who were not very easy to work with, and
say their names.
Say their names.
One of them passed away, unfortunately.
Oh no! Not speaking ill of the dead.
No,
it's spooky season.
But it was tough. But I learned some things. I learned valuable lessons, and it goes back to what you're saying. It's like, come on. Because one of my character defects is control. Like I need to have a hand in this and that and whatever, and this and that and whatever. And the reality of it is, it's like, you know what? I don't know everything, and sometimes when I step back and I let somebody, it's better. It gets better. It's like, and I'm all okay, and it's still not even that easy to kind of do. But I have this amazing relationship with my sponsor when I step into a service thing, and this is how I utilize. And if I had a therapist, I would be You
don't have a therapist?
No, because you're my therapist.
No, I'm not.
The price is right. I'm all of a sudden, he's wondering why I'm asking certain questions. And I'm all,
What do you mean about worry?
What do you mean? How does that make me feel?
Go on.
No, that's it.
Yeah. So one of the I thought of this question because one of the things that I love about service is like I came into the program with like really fucking shitty self-esteem, and I felt really isolated, and like I just felt like a pile of shit. And it wasn't until I took a service commitment. I was with Commemoratives was my first service commitment, and it was my first time like being in community with people and I was phoning it in, but like no one was calling me on my shit.
Right.
You know, they're like, she's nailed. she's
her heart.
Yeah. Let her pick the color. You know what I mean?
Put them in front of you.
Yeah, they like let her pick the color, and they choose something else. Yeah.
Exactly. She's so sweet.
But it was like the first time I was like people like knew my name and they were like recognizing me, and I was like, and by the end of the year I just felt so connected, and I was like, oh my God, like I like had a bit of self-esteem, and it was my first experience of like estimable acts giving you self-esteem, and I was like, oh no, this is real. Like just being in community. And in fact, like one of my favorite memories that Louis doesn't remember is that in very early recovery, when I was first coming into recovery spaces, Louis used to work at the Castro Country Club. He was working the front desk before they remodeled.
Toxic as fuck.
And so what ended up happening is like I walked into the cafe or whatever, and he remembered my name. And it was the first time anyone had referred to me by my name, like outside of a meeting. And he gave me like a really big hug, and I was like,
I was trying to hit that.
oh my God.
Look,
Yeah. You look vulnerable and defenseless.
What's your name?
Yeah, you're vulnerable. You look traumatized.
Just my type. It's like, I can taste it.
Yeah. I love someone you can't say no.
Wow.
But you know, the takeaway remains the same, that like you know, we were in like I felt seen, and there was like community there, and there's like something really healing about that, which I really like about
All jokes
doing
aside,
service.
all jokes aside, really the way that I was showing up at that time, and even what I try to do now is I think about how I was when I came in.
Yeah.
And to have somebody recognize me, because even though you said with your words to keep coming back, I didn't buy it. I didn't believe it. And it was, you know, and so I was, yeah, that was weird. It's like, come on, they're just saying it because they have to.
Yeah.
But nobody has to do anything they don't want to do, which is pretty amazing, which is why when you want to be a service and you find those service commitments that are just awesome, and you have a great time, and you build that community, and you have that fun, like I'm telling you, this is living sober. I'll go back to living sober. It's just has enriched my whole recovery. And yeah, I'm super excited. I got chills.
Yeah.
So what if you don't have a good experience with a service commitment? What do you do?
Oh, I love it.
Lo had something.
This one's always like,
Yeah, Lo had
I
something.
think I think it's all like a fucking opportunity for growth. You know, I think it's hard to see sometimes, but like that shit's learning lessons. Some of my like most unfun experiences have been like the things that have taught me the most.
Say that. Yeah. I mean, recently I've been thinking about that too. We have to start landing the plane. I saw Jordan give us the fingers. Yeah. But
just like a plane to Sacramento.
that's where you're from.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
That's part of one of my. So, what were we talking about?
We were talking about
Shit service commitments, not having fun.
Oh,
opportunities
hard
for
things.
growth.
Thank you, Lo. Thank you. So what I was thinking of is one of the hardest things I had to deal with is like something that happened earlier this year, and it's been like grueling, but I've been on like, I feel like I'm mostly on the other side of it, and I'm like really grateful, you know, and it's always been in recovery, at least, like it's always been those shitty situations, including shitty service commitments or like people I've had like weird relationships. They've been the most generative with with spiritual growth and like connection with other people.
For sure. That one where it's like, I'm not going to fucking make it. I'm not going to make it. And then I make it.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn.
that's amazing.
Yeah. I think that's would you put that picture away? So,
Pulling this up. Yeah.
all right. So
The Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people. Oh, sorry, it's a community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
we provide programs and services that help change lives by supporting personal growth.
Our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community, opportunity, and support.
You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us, at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
And check out new episodes every Monday when they drop.
And make good choices.
We love you.